Let me briefly talk on one of the technology or one of the case studies we are implementing at Canadian Natural Resources, starting with our Pelican Lake, where we recover heavy oil using polymer. Let me first speak about what is polymer. It is a non-toxic powder mixed with water. Why it helps the recovery? It increases the viscosity of water and improves vertical and aerial sweep efficiencies by reducing water fingering. Now, what additional facilities do we need? Water handling facilities, polymer hydration skid, particularly the mixing of water with polymer is the important issue here. And then we also need water source wells. So there is no steam here. There is no energy use. And what is the incremental capital cost? Is basically about $10 to $13 extra above easy oil. And the incremental operating cost will be $3 to $4. Speaking of operating cost, at Canadian Natural, our operating cost for heavy oil is about $14, $15, which is very low compared to light oil production in North America. And we are perhaps the lowest cost operator in heavy oil and natural gas, perhaps in North America among our peers. Now, the size of the Pelican Lake heavy oil resources, it is 12 to 17 API, initially developed on primary. Polymer flood successfully used, both technically and economically. Technology enhancement will continue to improve oil recovery. Basically, there are 4.1 billion resources in that Pelican Lake, and it is planned to recover about 700 million barrels. The oil quality, as we said, 14 API. The viscosity is about 8,000 to 50,000. We are now experimenting producing heavy oil of 8,000 centipos, which is very high number, very good for producing from 8,000. But up to now, it is 5,000 centipos viscosity. The temperature is 15 degrees centigrade. The reservoir is thin, it's 3 to 6 meters. Porosity is 30%. Water saturation 35 to 40. And the permeability is 300 to 3,000 millidarcy, and the reservoir pressure is 275 to 375 psi. Now this graph shows how we started. It was a primary first, and then water flooded, and then we used the polymer technology. Today we are producing about 40,000, and we are planning to produce 80,000 from that field. And this is the field picture of the pads. Currently, we are distributing polymer to 15 pads from one polymer facility. Now, next I go to the other part of the thermal, the other part of recovery, which is thermal recovery. In other words, using heat. So if the viscosity is too high and no solution gas, then, well, there is a little solution gas, then you're going to use what's called cyclic steam stimulation. You inject steam from here, from single well. You soak the reservoir, you wait, and it will melt the oil, the heavy oil, and then after that, this injector becomes producer, and you produce the oil. And the other method, this is called cyclic steam stimulation, and the other method is steam-assisted gravity drainage, or SAGD. You dedicate an injector and a producer. You inject your gas, your steam, and you wait, and the heavy oil will melt and then becomes easy to flow from a well beneath. Basically, you need a thick zone here in order to use SAGD method. Now, we are using steam. We are currently producing 140,000 barrels from 4 facilities in Wolf Lake, Primrose, North, South, and East. And our plan is to produce 150 or 160,000 barrels a day using steam. Now, the bulk of the name of the presentation is the Middle East. Now, I'm going to go back to Middle East after I described the recovery methods. Oh, this is the facility of the Wolf Lake. So you can see how much you need facilities in order to produce heavy oil, an expensive subject. Now, in heavy oil projects in Middle East, I could bring the first country is Oman. Occidental is using steam is utilizing a modified SAGD method with vertical steam injector around the horizontal producer. The field produces about 120,000 barrels a day, and they are planning to make it 200,000 by the end of next year. Very aggressive plan. PDO, that is the Petroleum Development of Oman, at Marmul field, it has the heavy oil has a 90 centipose viscosity, utilizing small polymer flood. In fact, their engineer came to our office or to our field. They spent a few days looking at our experience in polymer injection. PDO also has another facility at Harwell field, injecting miscible sour gas to enhance recovery, and another one on Qaran Alam, where they are utilizing steam injection to improve production of 16 API.